your sister similarly
Yeah.
murdered. You said it took kind of 20 years for you to overcome or get
Process
to a
a bit,
place
yeah.
so it wouldn't hurt you
Yeah.
anymore. How so?
What happens in, when you're grieving and you don't really have any place to put it is you tend to take it out on yourself. And so I did that a bit. I drank excessively, and I got sort of wrapped up in cocaine for a while, and didn't forgive myself. Really what it came down to. And finally, I had a sort of an epiphany of thinking, you're carrying this as though you had something to do with it, and you got to let that go. And I think it's a natural inclination. I think it's certainly a big brother always wants to protect his sister, and that's just what we're trained to do, It's what we're supposed to do. It's what I always did for her when we were kids. So losing her in that way was really damning to me. And I responded in any number of ways for a while. I used to walk the streets of Manhattan just hoping somebody would try to do something.
In dangerous parts of the street.
Dangerous parts of the town. And what was weird was, I'd be approaching a situation, a few guys standing around on a corner somewhere or something in the middle of the night, and think, here's a chance, And they all usually just steered clear.
And here's a chance for what?
Maybe just I was going to be able to take something out on somebody, or let some of these guys jump me or something. I was not in a good way at that time. But I think in a weird way, everybody kind of sensed it, thought, he's not worth it. So, so maybe I was just being protected, But then that turned into, suddenly I had great success, things like that, and it just was an irony for me that that she was gone and taken in such a horrible way, and that I was alive, and so I blamed myself for a long time. And then finally somebody said to me that usually the reason for addiction and things of that nature is in a profound way is a unresolved grief. I think there's a lot of truth to that statement. If you can just forgive yourself for whatever it is you're in, you don't actually need to carry all that crap anymore. So for me, it really helped me out.
How did you get to the place where you were able to do it?
When it turned off, it just turned off. It was just, whew. And, it doesn't mean now that I don't recollect Karen or even my dad and not still, have a profound sense of grief and even cry still, but that part of it has been, the charge has been removed from it.
And you were there when your grandma told your mom what happened?
Yeah.
How did you help your mom in getting through it?
It was hard. Helping my mom was tough. I think I'd never seen anybody move around a room that way when she heard her daughter was gone. And I think my mom was a truly brave, wonderful, persevering example. She kept it together and got through it, but always mourned the loss of her daughter, her little girl.
The boys that did it were 16, 17,
well,
19 years old.
18, 19, 20. They were in the
18.
Army, honestly, but one guy was pretty creepy. He just died, actually.
I was going to say one's dead, another's up for parole, 2021.
The last of them is alive. Yeah.
How do you view them?
As people who should stay in jail. They were given the death penalty, actually, but then in the 80s, was it, or maybe it was in the late 70s, the Supreme Court overturned all death sentences in America. So they were commuted to life sentences, all of them. And then because they fell into that little niche, it gave them the right to go up for parole all the time. So they've been, since Colorado has altered its law to say when life means life. If you're in jail for life, you're in jail for life. There's no parole. And that certainly would have been easier on me, but the last decade has been spent going back to Colorado Springs to ask the parole board to keep them in jail.
What do you have to do?
Basically write a statement, show up, speak to them about them. The last of them is the guy that was pretty instrumental in killing my sister, and I just, there's a part of me that wants to be as kind to every human being as I possibly can, and but the notion of his ever going free just seems absurd. They didn't kill just one person; they did it to several, and we don't have that right. I mean, except in wartime, maybe, but that's still, that still usually haunts people of conscience anyway.
If they had accepted responsibility and admitted wrongdoing, to what extent do you think that would have changed your view?
Well, I think now they probably have, but it's just.
I mean, for the longest time, they
Yeah,
did
no,
that,
it didn't
right?
really. Yeah, no, it's to their credit, but still, I didn't get a chance to meet my nieces and nephews, did I? I didn't get to see her grow up, so.